Hey, everybody, I want to welcome you to the very first broadcast of Real Estate Talk TGIF. Yep, that's right. Thank God it's finale. That's me. I'm not, I try not to be corny most of the time, but a lot of times I am, and I get that. But this is going to be a weekly broadcast that I do Fridays, sometimes between noon and 1 Eastern time. And, it's going to be from everywhere and from nowhere, and mostly from the Real Estate Skill Builder Lab. Which I call my office, which is my office. And we're going to have guests. We're going to have a lot of informational topics. And hopefully a lot of the topics that I'll bring forth will be some controversial. And hopefully a lot of them will kind of like pique some interest and also get some of you to start thinking about what you're doing. Like, for instance, the audience that I'm going to talk to are mostly going to be real estate agents, loan officers, mortgage guys, salespeople. That's where the people are going to get most out of it. Who am I? My name is Dave Finale, right? I am a real estate professional. I've been in real estate since a long time. Let's say I worked for my dad, who was a serial real estate investor. He did a lot of great investing, a lot of great work. I learned all about investing from him. And my dad did something really interesting when it came to the real estate business. When he bought a property, he never ran a number in the world. He never sat down, ran numbers. He just knew in his head if it was going to pay for itself, he was going to invest in it. And you know what? The guy did really damn well. And he was a dentist by education and by trade, and he was a dentist. I mean, he started his dental practice in 1944, worked all the way through till his death in 2005, for the most part. So the man lived till he was 90 years old. He was a great man. I worked for him for 25 years, and it wasn't always easy. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of you know me, know some of the things that weren't easy. But me, I've been in the real estate business. I've owned my own brokerage. I owned that for 21 years. I sold and walked away from that last August of 2017. And in that time between then and now, which is almost 11 months, I've had to kind of make some changes. I've had to feel out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And, one of the things that I'm doing now is I'm kind of transitioned and pushed into the way of helping people. Helping people is what I have always wanted to do. Always wanted to make sure that people were well off, make sure that people got what they need, got the help that they need. But I'm going to tell you the truth is I really don't want to help people that don't want to be helped. I mean, I do, but let's talk about business. I want to work with people that want to work, plain and simple. If people don't want to work, I mean, we're both wasting our times, right? So, I'm all about working with those who really want to put the time and effort in, right? So the point is that if you're out there, you want some help, you want to work, that's where you're going to get everything going. What do you have to gain by watching my episodes of Real Estate Talk TGIF? Some insight, listen to my craziness and see where it came from, and also to get some good stuff. I'm full of great stuff. I'm not full of what some people may say I am, but I'm really not. I got some really great stuff that I know that it has a lot of value. And my objective with these weekly things is to bring as much value as I can to the real estate professional, not the real estate agent. Because let's face it, there's several levels of being in the real estate business. One is a licensee, 2 is an agent, and 3 is a professional. Licensee, just learning, and you can get a lot out of it. And the next step is the agent, knowing what you're doing and moving forward. And then there's a real estate professional that really gets it and acts like this is really the business that they're in, and it is a business. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a licensee or an agent. It's just steps that some people don't take, right? So let's understand, first of all, there's 3 parts to what a real estate professional really is. 1, it's a real estate agent. 2, it is a technologist. And 3 is a constant creator of relevant content. So as time goes on, we'll talk more about that. But it's really important to know that what you're doing matters. All your work matters. So don't take it lightly. Don't slough it off to somebody else. Don't do a crappy job. Always do a great job. So one of the biggest things you hear today with real estate professionals and real estate brokerages is what's going on with the business models in real estate. So you've got, the brands out there, the franchises out there, which I was a part of for 21 years, and they've got a certain business model that's acceptable. And I'm not saying that they promote this business model. It's just the one that's been around for so long that everybody uses. And that's usually, honestly, guys, it's about the split. It's about the split, a lower split, and what they're giving you. They're giving you leads. They're doing your marketing for you, doing a lot of things for you. And there's an awful lot of value there. There's an awful lot of value when you're getting the value. And there's a lot of them that don't. And there's a lot of them that train. And they're all really, you know what? A lot of them are really good, and some of them really aren't. And then you've got the other business model where they want to give you everything and charge you for everything. Now, look, we all know about these big boys that, you come in, you get the high split. Once you pay the broker a certain amount, you go to 100%, right? All these things, all these models work. But the higher split, those other different business models, is all about what you've got in your head, whether it's going to work for you. Now, all the business models still work, whether it's the old brands or the new brand or the new independents or the new small guys out there. And you all know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to use any names here, although I'd love to. But the problem that we have with a lot of these small brand, large brand, and all these other different business models is ethics. I've been a proponent for a long time that we need to make a lot of changes in what and how we do stuff. I don't have the answers. I can talk about them, and I'd be glad to talk to people about the answers. But what do we do? So we'll get back to that in a second. But I want to talk about these brokerage models. And it's very important. I was speaking to an agent about a month ago that went from 100% concept back to a split. And the agent had always been in the 100% concept and learned a lot. The value that this person had going back to when it was a lower split was that they prepared marketing for them. They had some services that were consistent and worked for what she wanted to accomplish. And the important part here is, what is going to work for you? Are you capable of doing things on your own where you don't need to use a phrase, hand-holding? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I need hand-holding when I'm working with technology and learning something new. So, the important part is to know all about what's good for you. And sometimes that takes a while. You could go from one of the lower split companies, the old business model, to one of the ones with the new business model, and because, let's face it, they're giving away the store to get you in there. And it's about money. Let's not beat around the bush. It is about money. And remember, if you as a real estate professional go to a company for money, you're probably going to leave that company shortly for money, whether it's a different split or whether it's a different cap number or whether it's that you get more value and can make more money. You see, 100% split can be equal to a 70% split, because that 30% difference is the value of what you're not getting that you have to pay for on the other side. It can be extremely confusing, but let's just say that the different companies all work in different ways. So if you're interested in discussing this further in particular and in specific of different companies, I'd be glad to talk to you one-on-one. Just direct message me, or my information's in my bio on Facebook, so you can contact me individually there. So, basically the talk today is really about real estate companies and the business models. Do you want that 100%? Or do you want that one that starts at 70-30 to go to 100%? Or do you want the other one? But remember, the 100% is usually going to nickel and dime you for copies. You breathe the air. There's going to be an air monitor sooner or later in these offices to charge you for the air. Because some of these companies, it doesn't make sense how they make money. I don't know how they can, because they're not charging anything. 100%. And yeah, give us a couple $100 every month. How do you make money? And how can you say you've got all this training? It's not for free. You know, people say, oh, I'm going to go to this place and it's going to be great. And they do have all this training and stuff. And then you get there, you forgot to ask the question, how much does the training cost? Or what am I really going to be getting? Because that 70, 30, 100% could turn out to be 60, 40, 50, 50 by the time you get done paying for it. Make sure you ask the right questions, all right? And I'd be glad to help with that as well. So, you know, number one, the whole idea behind Real Estate Talk, TGIF, is all about, you know, TGIF is part of the name, you know. And I want to take a second to go off to something that one of my great listeners, Matt Allman from California, says they make money from their lending or escrow company. It's a consistent model. Most real estate companies lose money directly. Matt, you're absolutely correct. If they have their own mortgage company or have their own title company, that's where they're making the money. And, you know, as an aside and as using it as an alternative, I mean, we can say that, you know, it's actually the real estate brokerage is almost like a front for in a good way, in a proper business way, for the mortgage company or the title company. But let's face it, real estate professionals and real estate agents don't want to be told who to use for a mortgage company, now do they? What's the value of a loan officer? We'll talk about that some other time. We got some great guests coming on. By the way, we've got some great guests scheduled over the next, 4 or 5 months already to come on and work with us. And we're going to do our best to expand that list when I travel to California in a couple of weeks for the Inman Connect San Francisco 2018. But, back to to those business models is that's how that's working. But we also want to move forward and talk a little bit about what our point is. TGIF, Fridays. Look, I use TGIF as a pun to say thank God it's finale. Me, right? I think it's funny, and it is, because I'm actually a funny guy. So the point is that Fridays are another day. Look, in life, people look forward to that Friday. Why? Because they got a Monday through Friday 9-to-5 job. And some companies, I know of a lot of them, summer hours, 1 o'clock, they're out. So in New Jersey, you're going down the shore. Remember that phrase, down the shore, because it's something I'll use, and it's something that we all use in New Jersey, or to the beach in other parts of the country. And they're going for the weekend. And the weekend's all over. And then Sunday comes, and then you got Monday. Oh, wow. And then you had that song way back when called Tell Me Why You Don't Like Mondays. Look, Friday is the same as every other day. Monday is the same as every other day. I used to get, when I was a long time ago, I used to get what I called the Sundays. And I got that on Sunday night. Why? Because my boss, my dad, would call me and bust my balls on Sunday night about things we had to do during the week. And it was a bit annoying, but you know what? It is what it is. I accept it. But, with that said, I mean, you worried about, I don't want to go back to work tomorrow. Like it was a bad thing. Guess what? If you're not doing with what you love, you need to find a new job. You need to find a new occupation. Because, if you love what you do, they say you'll never work a day in your life. I believe that, all right? So you have to worry that Friday is not a bad thing. Friday's a great thing. Actually, for me, I am actually really relaxed on Fridays because it used to mean that Saturday was the next day and I could hang out and party and do whatever I wanted to do like I used to. But the important part about Fridays and Saturdays is I get to regroup. I get to re-energize, and I use that Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings for that. Whatever you guys do, whatever your preferences are on weekends, that's great. That's really cool. For me, Saturdays, I try to play golf on Saturday mornings. Sundays, yes, I go to church, and I don't want to be bothered on Sunday morning. It's kind of like my peace time. But I rejuvenate, and I work on lists, and I do things. If I work on a business, it's easy. I don't have any stress anymore with Saturdays and Sundays. So remember, Fridays is just a day, and Monday is a cool day as well. It's a great day. It's like getting started. You get all that pent-up energy from the weekend. Am I nuts? Yeah, probably. So I just want to end today with the third segment. We're going to do this broadcast, Real Estate Talk, TGIF, every week, and it's going to be in 3 sections. It's going to be an intro section about talking about what's going on. Then there's probably going to be a guest or the topic of the day. And then the last is going to be all about words. So the third part today, we want to talk about words. And I'm going to ask you to try to eliminate 2 words from your vocabulary in your business. And you know what? Also in your life. The first word is why. No, not why I'm asking that question. It's actually why. Not the letter, it's why. W-H-Y, right? So when you ask that, just like someone tells you a story or someone tells you they have to do something, you say, why? Well, psychologically, what you're doing is you're questioning their abilities, you're questioning their talents, you're questioning everything about them. So you kind of want to like stay away from the word why in conversations, as well as in listing presentations and buyer presentations. So try to stay away from that and use phrases like, hold on, got to get to my my phrase book here. Sorry, that'll happen too. You know, instead of saying why, a good buddy of mine taught me this line, tell me more about that. You know, if you do it a lot, it is kind of annoying. So beware of that, all right? So when someone's trying to explain to you, how about, well, what does that look like to you? How does that make you feel? Hate that one. Or you can, when they're talking, you can want to talk about why and everything else. You could say, well, has there ever been a time when you did that and something didn't work or something like that? And tell me what's important about that to you. So those are other things that you can use in different things, right? And always work hard at eliminating that word. Now, the other word that I want to eliminate from your vocabulary is another 3-letter word, but. No, not but. What's the word? And not the 4-letter word, but, because I'm sitting on it right now. It's B-U-T, but. If you're talking to someone and you're having a conversation, and then you stop the conversation and say, but. If you're giving a compliment and you're talking about how someone performed, and then you go, but. Well, guess what? Everything before that but was a lot of crap. Bull crap. Doesn't mean anything. So the point I'm making is don't use the word but. So if you're telling someone and you're criticizing them or you're critiquing their job, like say you are working with an agent on their listing presentation and they do the listing presentation to you and it's over and you're going to critique it now. So you're going to say, you know, your listing presentation was really good, but I think you should do this. Or I think you should add this. But you should do this. But change this. But don't do it because it's everything before the but meant nothing. You're lying. Everything before the but is a lie, right? So this is how you do it. I think your listing presentation is really good. One of the things that you can do to make it improve and to get more reaction out of it is this. You see how different that is? You can do that and eliminating the word but, eliminating the word why in life is going to make things a lot easier, make you come off better. So that's it. Eliminate the words why and but. Business models in real estate and what I aim to accomplish by Fridays with Real Estate Talk TGIF. So remember, any questions, please get them to me. I'll be glad to address them at the beginning of every session, every broadcast, which is Fridays between noon and 1. My goal is to start every week at noon. And if it's a little later, I'll let you know. But thanks for all those who've been on. Avo, Alinda, Mark, James was on earlier. So was Matt Allman. Thanks so much. And we'll be seeing you real soon. Reach out to me with any questions. Be glad to be there for you. And remember, I want to work with those that want to work. You want to work? Let's work. Take care.